Are you burnt out on this God thing by now? I mean, it seems so glaringly incorrect, impossible, implausible, and completely against what we know. It sounds like there's absolutely no further discussion. It's so easily understood that there isn't a God. There is no God. There's no big extra entity separate from you, watching you, judging you, making a list, checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty and nice. It's a big sigh of relief. But you still keep hearing it. A lot of people are still like, do they really hear what they're saying about this? That? We've outgrown that. God, look at everything we've done to easily point out to us the fact that there is no God. And you know what? That's natural human intelligence evolution. Because, see, God was all about this ignorance, about dark ages, about myths, about not knowing anything about geology, biology, astronomy, time. Time was a big one, too. So to them, as just ignorant people, everything was mythic, everything was a statement, a sign, everything, because it was unknown. Why do you go out, you get in a thunderstorm? It must be a sign against you, something to you. You take a big sigh of relief. And then you go back and say, well, we know about thunderstorms. We know about floods. We know about earthquakes. We know about hurricanes. We've seen and how they do, what sets them off, what type of things, what is the underlying thing, and guess what? It works every time. So it just pulled the rug out from a myth of a God activity. Earthquake, flood, rainstorm, hurricane. Well, then you keep going and just look at the history. Here we know Galileo, all he did was actually look at Jupiter. He actually just built a telescope and actually looked at something. Instead of hearing in particular the Christian wackos do the Christian story of what the universe was and where the planets are and what they do and whatnot, which is completely wrong. Completely fabricated. So Galileo actually looked. And he pulled the rug out from God. Because little Earth was not the center of the universe. And therefore is not the center of some mythic God's view. And we keep going from Galileo. We go to the idea that the Earth is only 6,000 years old. Well, that's not religious. That's ignorance. We can't be teaching our kids ignorance. That's not religious. Look at the story. The guy's Bishop Ussher, and somewhere in the 1600s. 1600s. Over 400 years ago. And all he wanted to do, he wanted to know, well, how old's the Earth? Well, he didn't look at the Earth. He just looks at this book of myths and stories that even by then is over 1,000 years old. And he figures it out in his own little mathematical way that it's a 6,000-year-old Earth. Meanwhile, science, 1700s, they actually go out and dig in the earth, look at the earth, analyze the earth, chemical analysis, age the bones, age rock. They look at stratification, study it, and they come up with billions of years old. Now, which one are you going to believe? A guy who sits in a room with one book of myths, or somebody who actually goes out and digs in the earth, actually looks at the thing, actually studies the thing, puts out theories of the thing, has other people test the theories until they come up with a consensus of, well, it's this, yeah, but it's like this, oh yeah, it is like that. And he goes, well, and it's repeatable. So again, boom, you just pulled the rug out of God. Again and again, Darwin coming into the 20th century, Einstein, the big names, Heisenberg, Bohm, physicists, and everything has shown you up to the Hubble Space Telescope photos how big this whole thing is. How massive. Incredible. And somehow, you're supposed to believe in a separate entity watching and judging you. And after you die, it's going to judge you and try and send you to kind of some fantasy land of happy, or sad and painful. Well, that's ludicrous. Of course there's not a God. Of course there's not a hell. Of course not. 21st century wisdom, intelligence, humane, evolved intelligence. Well, you just heave a sigh. There is no God. Now, what's great about that? That is actually very good, because it actually puts it into the truth of what it is. The purpose of life. Oh, what is life? What are you doing being alive? Well, since there isn't a God, you know it's all within you. It always has been. In fact, it always has been. And you can see, because you recognize it always has been, that all that stuff before was mythic ignorance. Because the truth is that you can do yourself right now. You can say, it's only within you. It only goes as far as you. Within you is awareness. Within you is the big thing of your movie, your life. Inside of you is the only person, entity, knowledge, understanding of what you actually do, think, feel. That's as far as it goes. There isn't something coming in from outside that's going to, bingo, be the exterior voice and you the humble, missing component. Now, see, all that old stuff, that's the ludicrous ignorance way of the old. What's great is it's within you. So then this whole life, which you're living through your movie, right up to the point where you die, that's as far as it goes, within you. So look within you. That's it. There's this innate awareness. And that innate awareness wipes out all this hooga-booga of social convention and biases and limitations and excuses that you've got from the old token sandals religions, that you've got from advertising, relentless advertising, that you've got from TV and movie and video programs, that you've got from playing video games. You're always getting manipulated. You're always getting distracted. And it's all made up. Because that's not the real thing. And you can find the real thing. It's right there within you. You've always had it. It didn't switch on when you got born. And the surprising thing, it's not going to switch off when you die. Awareness. See for yourself. Awareness, as a metaphor, is like air itself. Just continuous, unattached, clear, awake, but has no, built-in boundaries, borders, has no conceptual boundary or whatnot. It's just awareness. And you have it within you. You always have. And that's the great point. That's the great thing. Then you know, purpose of life within you, within you. And the purpose of life is the awareness. Know that awareness. Now the path to do all through your life, the thing to do, to enhance that, to remember that and whatnot, is your first motivation. And your first motivation for everything in life is be a benefit to others. And from there you go. That's it. That's the activity, your first motivation in all action for your whole life. And look what that does. Be a benefit to others. Well, even the very thing we're saying, be a benefit to others, means you're not clinging, you're not grasping, you're not jealous. You're helpful, you're cooperative, environmentally sustaining, compassionate, generous. Those kind of words. When you're a benefit to others. So naturally, you're not buying into all the advertising. Because advertising wants you to cling and judge and bias and prejudice, and you need this, you need that, you've got to cling. And your real awareness doesn't hold anything. And the very action of be a benefit to others, continually, for you, doesn't come with the thing of clinging, grabbing, hold on to something. Instead, it's generosity. It's opening up. It's letting loose. So it's good news. You got rid of the old age God fantasy myth that you just have outgrown because you're a much more evolved intelligence. And you're ready to move on. And you have been ready to move on. You're ready to move on beyond the whole God myth thing of those togan sandals ignorances. So, where do you go? You go and recognize it's within you. And that's the truth. You're the movie of your life. That's as far as it goes. Everything you have done, are doing, and will do, right through to the time you die. And then what? Fear? No, of course not. The very fact of living the life of be a benefit to others, generosity, and the direct experience of awareness itself, that's going to clarify things for you about the whole thing about dying and a body and all that stuff. Don't worry. It ain't the big, the fear thing is because of not knowing. That's where fear comes from. When you have direct experience, well, You know how it evaporates the fear. You know. That's the 21st century. Advancement in here. Awareness itself. Be a benefit to others.